Welcome, everybody, to another episode of Doom Service on Film, your cinematic interview experience. I am here with the one and only Slasher Dave. How are you doing, Dave?
I'm doing good. How are you?
I'm doing really good, thank you. So I'm going to hop into a few questions to start. Bit of a big one. What is your origin story? What inspired you to get started making music?
I don't know. Music goes back with me. I guess when I started to really get into music, I was listening to shit like Green Day and like early 90s like pop rock stuff. But I go back with horror movies since I've been a kid, and my mom kind of introduced me and had me watching a bunch at a very young age. And I don't know, something stuck with me with Halloween and Halloween 2 and Halloween 3 and the Carpenter soundtracks. And just Halloween in general was a very happy time in my childhood. And it's very nostalgic. And I don't know why I've always been attracted to that style of like music, but I try to blend it with Acid Witch, which is like heavy metal. And my solo project, the Slasher Dave stuff, obviously is a big soundtrack, John Carpenter influence, but I don't really know. I can't really trace anything back. It's just music has always been an escape. It's kind of the same with music or movies for me. If parents were arguing, something bad was happening in life, you just put the headphones on or put a movie on, and you kind of escape to your happy place. And that's where everything kind of comes from for me. Is like music was always just my happy place.
Awesome. So do you think that you draw like most of your inspiration from John Carpenter, or where else do you draw your inspiration from outside of that?
Carpenter is, yeah, my number one. 80s Carpenter. I should say that because the new Carpenter stuff sounds a bit different. But yeah, like 80s Carpenter, um, and Fabio Frizzi, and more of the Italian like Goblin scores and that. I Since I first started, like we had a store in Detroit. I don't know if you had them. Where are you located?
I'm in Montreal.
Okay, we had a store called Media Play,
Okay.
and they had subgenre sections in the horror section. So they had like Italian, French, Spanish, uh, and I started to discover the Italian splatter movies, and I fell in love with the composition of beautiful music, but a horrific gore scene happening at the same
Oh
time.
yeah.
I love I love like hearing like really kind of beautiful music. It's almost more horrific hearing that with like an extreme gore scene, and the music is kind of beautiful, and I don't know, that spoke to me. So when I started to discover that stuff, I think my Slasher Dave solo project stuff now is very, it's like half Carpenter and half Italian influenced. Yeah, so that's probably my other, really big influence. And of course, I've always got to kind of go back to Black Sabbath because I fell in love with them at a very young age, and they're a big influence.
Oh yeah, they're definitely a classic among people in the metal community, especially. So yeah, I can vouch for my love of Sabbath as well.
Yeah,
But yeah, shout out to that store for having so many subgenres, because here we don't have that. They just kind of go like, that's horror, and figure it out for yourself. So I like what they're doing. I don't
yeah,
know
and
if they're still around, but like,
good luck even finding physical, DVDs and Blu-rays in stores now. I mean, I know stores
yeah.
still stock them, but it's not like it was 10 years ago when you could walk in a store and have an array, a choice of movies. Stores aren't really stocking physical stuff anymore. They've really shrunk the department down as far as
Especially
like,
not the niche stuff.
yeah,
Especially not the niche stuff. Sometimes you can get there and you can find something interesting. Most of the time, not so much.
yeah.
But yeah, so a bit of a silly one actually. I like to ask this one a lot.
I love.
Tell me something weird about yourself. What don't we know about you? Do you have any hidden talents? Deepest, darkest secret?
I fucking love something that I think my people that tune into my lives on Instagram probably know about me, but most people don't know. I love 90s dance music, Ace of Base, and fucking stuff that the metal community would probably consider probably like pretty cringy, but I really dig like 90s electronic like dance music. I love it.
Amazing. Well, you heard it here first on Doom Service. Slasher Dave likes dance music. Catch him at your local disco. Um, and what okay, so what's coming up for you? Do you have any like upcoming tours, albums, anything that you're kind of looking to put forward without giving too many trade secrets up, of course. But yeah, what's coming up for you
Well,
and Acid Witch also?
I just dropped Age Old Tradition like a week and a half ago. It's an 18 song full length, almost a double album of extreme kind of aggressive, tense John Carpenter music. Like every song kind of just sounds like you're about to get stabbed in the face. Um, so I got that. I'm very proud of how that album turned out this year. Saturday, we have a show in Detroit, our fifth annual Spooktacular show. We've done it, you know, I think we missed 1 year, but we've done it like 5 or 6 years in a row where we have other bands come on and play with us and we decorate the venue and yeah, it's a great time. Really many tours coming up that we've done yet. We're gonna hit I don't know what we're hitting. We're gonna do another album. Rot Among Us came out last year. This winter we're gonna start recording another album, and that's kind of the plans for Acid Witch. And
Amazing.
so come Thanksgiving and Christmas time, Slasher Dave Project is gonna release a shit ton of Christmas music. It might be a bit more demented and fucked up, but yeah, I like doing that too.
All right. Well, congrats on your most recent release. I'm definitely going to be giving that a listen. Also, Rot Among Us, one of my now Halloween favorites, I gotta say. That just it just has such a classic Halloween sound. I don't know. It's
Thank
great. Yeah. And so I'm going to jump back into a bit of silliness and ask you, what are your top three deserted deserted island album picks?
That's a very hard question for me. I'm gonna just spout off the first ones that come to my head though. Halloween 2 soundtrack. Definitely. Sabbath, I'm gonna have to go volume 4, probably. And this last one, I probably like this is a very hard question for me. Some UK 82 shit. Probably some punk stuff. I need a bit of punk in there, so like some GBH or something.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
All right. And I'm gonna hit you with another probably like difficult one for you. What is your favorite horror movie of all time or soundtrack? I mean, either one, I'll take it.
I'll tell you both. Halloween 2 and 3 are probably my favorite soundtracks. And then up there is like Suspiria and The Beyond. And movie wise, it's a very hard question. I go through different moods. If I'm in a mood to watch something, that right then and there, if I love the movie, it's one of my favorite movies. But I'm gonna have to go. Nightmare on Elm Street 1 is one of my favorites. I kind of go basic when it comes to this stuff. I like a lot of like SOV and shitty and indie stuff. And I've got a true passion for that stuff, but I still go back to Nightmare 1, Halloween 1, of course, and Halloween 3. Halloween 3 is probably up there as one of my favorite movies.
Fun
Yeah.
fact, I've actually never seen Halloween 3, but Halloween 1 is definitely one of those classic Halloween watches that you get
Three?
to get. Yeah,
You've
never
never
seen.
three.
No.
Okay. There's no Michael Myers in it. It's just a bunch of masks. But it's a great witch movie. Of just like you just watch it. Yeah, you'll like it. You'll love it.
All right. I'm definitely taking that recommendation. All right. So for my last question, I like to flip it around and kind of turn it on its head at the end of every interview. Is there anything that you want to ask your fair host?
Uh yeah. Um where did you get that shirt at?
This one?
Yeah.
It was given to me actually. I have no idea where they got it. I think the tag says H&M, but I think this is gonna be like super touchy feel. My grandma gave it to me. And I paired it with the little, I don't know if you're gonna be able to see them, but I've got like little jack-o'-lantern
Oh
earrings.
yeah. Oh yeah. Oh,
Yeah,
those
it's
are
that time of year. I gotta break out all the kitschy Halloween jewelry.
here's a question. How did you hear me?
How did I hear of you?
Yeah.
Well, there was a guy that I was dating at the time who was in a band. Shout out to the old ritual master. And he introduced me to Acid Witch.
Oh,
And
cool.
then through Acid Witch, I kind of just got introduced to your like solo project, Slasher Dave. And then from there, I just really took a liking to it. So I became a fan first. And now that Doom Service is up and running, I figured now, especially now, this time of year would be a really good time to interview one of my fan favorite artists. Yeah.
Heck yeah. That's awesome.
All right. Well, those are the questions that I have for you today. So I guess we'll end this on a high note. This has been Doom Service on Film, your cinematic experience. Big thank you to Slasher Dave for being on
Thank
this
you.
episode. Be sure to look out for that spooktacular if you're in Detroit. As always, at your Doom Service, baby.
Peace.